guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. I'm back here at Furman BMW in Palm Harbor, Florida, and guess what? We have one of the baddest BMWs to roll out of the factory over in Munich, Germany. This is a 2020 BMW M8 Competition. Let's talk a little bit about the 8 Series. The 8 Series, been around since the 1990s, and what's interesting is that original 8 Series coupe had a V12, if you could believe that. This car loses 4 cylinders, but performance has been punched through the roof. Now, the interesting thing with this being a 2020, I just got back from the Rolex 24 at Daytona for 2020, and this car won again in its class for the second time. That's the GTLM class going up against the Porsche 911 RSR. So for this video, what I really want to focus on, since those were the two main competitors that were fighting one another in the GTLM class, is the M8 Competition the better German car over a Porsche 911 and the different series of the 911s? But believe it or not, BMW's been around since 1916. Obviously got started in airplanes and airplane engines, and then eventually things started to turn into other organizations with motorcycles, and then eventually cars to follow. But one thing is for sure, when you hear the letter M with a particular BMW, you know you're going to get the highest performance level that they can do all over their years of racing at Le Mans, the German Touring Car Championship, and other series around the world. So let's go ahead and dive into this all new for 2020 M8 Coupe Competition. Right off the bat, the lines. You definitely could tell it's a BMW. It's been a little bit of a debate over the size of this vehicle, going up against the 911 and many of the other competitors in that particular class of car. It's on the larger side, but you'll see when we get to the drive section that they've kind of compensated and been able to figure out how to get around that. But very, very nice angular headlight housing. Everything is blacked out. Of course, you're going to get full LEDs. And I love how BMW has now incorporated that traditional halo design to their daytime running lamps with the LED setup on this particular M8. We drop down, we get some carbon fiber goodness. A little bit of carbon fiber sprinkled into the front fascia. Obviously, all of this is functional. So air is going to come in for all the cooling. You can see the extension of that carbon fiber. And what's also nice, the carbon fiber is integrated into the lower section as well. If you look a little closer below that, there is a little bit of a lip extension in flat black, which just adds to the overall aggression of this M8. Very low, very wide. Now, as we come across that grille, kidney grille design going back for so many decades, I like this black chrome finish. Of course, you're going to get a forward-facing camera. And one thing to note that you should notice is how, minimalistic the grille is. You have these vertical slots and a lot of space in between to help maximize airflow to cool this twin-turbo V8 beast. The M8 badge with the M. M stands for motorsport. Those traditional colors through the years. I was at Sebring so many times and been able to see those colors finish first across that start-finish line. The lower section, I like the way it does mimic the same grille shape as on the corners. It is gloss black. You can see how that front fascia kind of extends out, and that low lip here comes all the way from one side to the other. And then, of course, if you have carbon fiber on one side, we have to finish it off on both sides. But definitely this color with the black chrome and the carbon fiber is spot on the money. Now, when we get up onto the hood, you see that iconic BMW logo, Bavarian Motor Works, nice body lines, 2 strong prominent lines that go all the way back and then kind of fade just before the windshield. And then you're going to have the 2 on the corner here. Speaking of the corner, when we come around the bend, feast your eyes on these beautiful wheels. This thing is ridiculous. So this is a 20-inch wheel, 275 on the width, 35 series sidewall tire. Obviously, this being a Pilot Sport tire. This isn't a Cup 2 tire. It's a Pilot Sport by Michelin. I think it's a great tire because it gives you grip, but it also gives you some durability. I love the crisscross lace pattern. You can see the machined dark aluminum colors that are accented in, and then behind the wheel, it's almost like Goldfinger, or I should say Goldfist, that 6-piston caliper with the M logo, carbon ceramic brakes on this one. 2-piece rotors. The 2-piece rotors are going to help us in 2 different ways. It's going to help dissipate heat, but it also helps with the overall rotating mass to give you a little bit quicker steering. Remember, this thing has all-wheel drive, so it's going to keep you planted to the ground, but definitely this setup with this color, spot on the money. We go down into the fender. You can see functional side exhaust vents with carbon fiber just spilled in there. There's our M8 badge. You look at BMWs over the years, that side fender vent or badging is something that pretty much is a tradition with BMWs, especially when you go the M logo. They're not ashamed to put the M logo everywhere, all over this car. Now, very, very not only functional, but drop dead sexy. I won't say that many times about side mirrors, but the side mirrors here, you can see the aerodynamic efficiency built into them, full carbon fiber across the top, little bit of gloss black. You're gonna have your corner cameras and everything. Carbon fiber roof. If you're wondering what's the point of a carbon fiber roof, that's gonna help cut weight. You cut about 10 pounds off the top of this M8. That's gonna lower your center of gravity. And then they have a gloss black along the top and bottom of the surroundings for the glass, for the side glass and rear quarter glass. Now, as we drop our way down, very nice strong body lines all the way down, and you can see this lower sill extension, how it kind of flares out towards the rear, because the front of this thing is wide, the back of this thing is even a little bit wider. When we get to the rear tire setup, so you're looking at 285. So they went a little bit wider on the rear tires. There's that M logo, and then of course the self-centering BMW center caps. Little touch like that just makes me smile and say, hey, they thought this thing through. Now, when we get to the back, the tail end of the business, of course, if we started with some carbon fiber, we have a nice trunk lid spoiler, kicks up just enough to give you that extra downforce. I like the way the center is cut out in between. You get that BMW logo, full LED lighting, and then here's the most important badge, M8 Competition. So that badge is gonna say we have even more performance than the other 8 Series coupe that we've tested here on Rady's Rides. You do have carbon fiber on the low diffuser and the BMW Sport Performance exhaust. I'm very happy to say quad tip exhaust that is functional. Let's go ahead, pop the hood of this Bavarian Bear and see the heart. All right, guys, hood is popped. You can see we do have, of course, hood struts. Very large hood. Underneath that hood, they have that heart firmly planted in there. So what you're looking at with the M8 Competition is going to be a 4.4 liter V8 twin turbocharged engine, 617 horsepower, 558 pound-feet of torque. It all goes to the ground through a very sophisticated all-wheel drive system, and the engine is mated to a ZF 8-speed automatic transmission. This M8 Competition weighs about 4,400 pounds. Here's the fantastic numbers: 0 to 60 in 2.8 seconds, quarter mile in 10.8, and a top speed of 190 miles an hour. MPGs, if you're concerned about that, 15 in the city, 21 in the highway. And then when it comes to the competition cost, you're looking at around $13,000 for the additional horsepower, 20-inch wheels, that M Sport exhaust as well. But when you pop the hood, there's not a lot of room here, but you definitely know underneath is that twin turbo V8. I do like the engine cover though. A little bit of carbon fiber, the M badge, the BMW M Power signature there just really has a very, very nice look. And the way that everything is supported and braced, this thing is ready to take any twisty turn you could throw at it. But why don't we go ahead, let's fire up this M8 Competition and see what it sounds like. All right, guys, we're inside the BMW M8 Competition. I know you're at that point where, okay, we're comparing this to a 911, definitely has the horsepower, definitely has that sports car look to it with the carbon fiber. How much is this one? You're looking at MSRP $169,000. Let's see what you get for the money. To the door panels. I really like what BMW does. It has this German simplicity to it, but on this M8 Competition, you can see the nice silver, the brushed aluminum on the speaker covers, even that beautiful stitch work and design looks spot on, and you have a nice pocket in the door panel with stitch work to put your German Twinkies in there, and even a drink, which is really, really nice. Now, when you get to the dash is kind of far forward, which is a good thing. Beautiful AC vents, the way they're angled in, and the center stack here with the stitch work, all soft material, and it's a little bit tilted towards the driver, which makes sense. This is a over 10-inch infotainment system screen. Of course, it's going to be touch screen. You could go into your different car features, your settings, and all that good stuff. So that's really cool how they have that all set up. You drop down and you're going to have, of course, dual climate control, nice touch on the AC vents. Here's your AC controls, heated and ventilated seats, slim and trim on the radio controls, a nice M8 Competition badge, a little bit of gloss black, but if you notice, tons of carbon fiber. They spilled a bucket of carbon fiber in here. Open up that lid, 2 cup holders, a USB and a wireless charging port. It's like a little cave for your wireless charging to go back there. Very nice touch, and of course, a 12 volt, we can't forget that. You do have, I'm noticing, which obviously would light up a little bit better at night, some of that interior mood lighting going on both sides of the information stack here. Now, when we get to this little guy right here, we're talking about that 8-speed automatic transmission. You can see the beautiful M stitch work, the M badging embossed in the top. We have a nice iDrive controller. If you don't want to touch the screen, if you're afraid to get your fingers near it, you could actually use the knob to go through different features. We could go back into our navigation. There we are at Furman BMW. You got your stop button, nice bright red. Of course, you could put this in manual shift mode with paddles, which I'll show you that in a second. This opens and closes the exhaust. You have your different M modes. So M modes are specific to the actual M8 Competition. You could shut off every single nanny you got on this car, which on your standard M8 or M840i, you can't do that. But just a little bit of gloss black, nothing too bad. I could go back to home very easily. You have your 3 screens set up there. Here is your key fob. Very, very nice with the M colors on it. I wish it did say M8 on it, would be a nice touch. So that is a zonk for me on that, but actually not too bad on the padding for the armrest. I love the beautiful silver. Open it up, you have tons of room in here. If you didn't have enough Twinkies in the door panels for you, you could put even more here. Easily put 12, stack them up very nicely. You have another 12 volt USB and a little bit of felt lining because they know you don't want to scratch your Twinkie. Seats, these are a thing of beauty. You got the M8 badge, love the perforated material, the beautiful stitch work, nice high bolstering, of course power adjustable for both passenger and driver, and you have the hamstring extension as well. Plus on the Competition, I know this is important, you have your M logo stripes on the seat belts. This one, no sunroof on an M8 Competition. You do have the nice Alcantara microfiber suede material, very, very nice and soft. It's almost like petting a little kitty cat, and a beautiful frameless mirror. Come on over to the business end though. I want to show you behind the wheel of this M8 Competition coupe. All right guys, business end. Look at the beautiful work here. I mean, it's got the M8 Competition logo here. Really, really great looking. Just a nice way to welcome you into the car. You can see how the seats hug you like a little teddy bear. Really, really nice. I got plenty of headroom. I'm 6 feet tall, remember, plenty of headroom. Steering wheel. BMW does a great job with their steering wheels. You can see the beautiful M stitching all the way around. Of course, you got an M logo to stare at you smack dab in the face. Heated steering wheel. You have your M specialty buttons, plus your paddles to go up and down that 8-speed automatic transmission. And then the dash, 12-inch display, clear graphics, another M8 logo. You have your tach on one side, speedometer on the other, and then of course you could scroll through all sorts of information with your thumb drives and everything, which is really wonderful to do on this particular setup. But the stitch work, everything is spot on the money. I think for me, the one zonk so far, because I know you haven't heard that word too much yet in this video, it's just the size of this M8. It's a very, very large vehicle compared to a 911. But why don't we go ahead, let's check out the trunk space and see how much room we have in this M8. All right guys, time to check out how much room you have, because remember, I think for some people, this might be their daily driver. And BMW says you could easily have this be your daily driver. So we'll open up the back, see what kind of groceries you could fit into your M8 Competition. Actually, not too shabby for the type of vehicles that this is. Now, if you're wondering, well, what is the actual hard number? The trunk space, it's a little over 15 cubic feet of space. What I do like about it is the width. You have a nice little cargo net here that's gonna hold your boxes of snacks, whether they be Twinkies, Little Debbie's, whatever you're eating, you could have that stored there. And you know what? For the depth of the trunk, pretty good. And you're gonna have the ability to fold down the seats, even though this is the M8 Competition. But why don't we go ahead, let's get to the best part. If you're ready, I'm ready. Let's take this BMW for a spin. All right, guys, we're leaving Furman BMW. We're in the M8 Competition. Remember, 617 horsepower, 0 to 60 in 2.7, 2.8 seconds. On throttle, here we go. Wow, this thing, holy God. This thing accelerates like no tomorrow. Like, you know when you're pumping fuel at the gas pump and you're seeing the digits roll on how many gallons and what the cost is? That's what the speedometer does in this car. Absolutely insanity in this thing. Unbelievable. I am using the paddles. I do have it in that manual shift mode. It'd be cool if you could get an actual manual in this. You cannot. I'm also going to make sure that I have it in sport mode for everybody, because I know that that's one of my favorite modes when in one of these. But here we go, on throttle. Jeez! The track, you're not even worried about traction in here. You're getting so much grip from that all-wheel drive system, and it's just like full speed ahead. Just unbelievable how quick this accelerates. The transmission is lightning fast. There's no way that you're going to shift faster. Would it be more engaging to have a traditional manual? Of course, but this ZF 8-speed, it's mind-blowing. I remember back when I was in high school, there was no way you wanted an automatic transmission because they just shifted so sloppy. There were slush boxes. This thing, there's nothing slushy about it. I want to go get a Slurpee. That's about it, because it's making me thirsty, all this power. Ridiculous. This thing is legal. Oh my God. But the crazy thing is just how you could daily drive this car with no issue. That's the insanity behind all of this. Super smooth. Second gear. Here we go, on throttle. Gee! Oh my God. Do you need an M8 Competition? No. Do you want one? I could totally agree with why you would want one. Would I rather have a 911? You know, we've been talking about this or one of the 911 trims. I think for the price, I would go get myself a Porsche 911 GT3. Get it in a manual, that flat six, naturally aspirated. It's just more what I would want out of a car. Does this bring the business with power and comfort and style and everything else that you could need or want? Yes, for sure. It's an incredible piece of machinery. I mean, the dash, so clear. Instrumentation for the infotainment system, same thing, easy to get to. The seats have just enough bolstering to where it's not too over the top. And this is more considered to be, at least in my eyes, more of a GT, car, a Grand Touring sports car type of thing. Back seats, they're snug. Would you want to sit back there if you're 6 feet tall like myself? No. If you have somebody who's younger that just needs to go for a ride because you already have a passenger, then it works. Just like a 911. If you look in the back seat of a 911, it's like, are those even considered to be a seat? That's what you're kind of working with the M8 here. But here we are driving in traffic, and it's very, very smooth. Visibility is excellent. Even out the back window, I thought that slanted back window would be almost like looking through a peephole. No, not at all. It's great visibility. Those sexy mirrors I pointed out look phenomenal. Even up over this torn up asphalt, just soaks up the bumps, no wind noise, very, very smooth, and obviously fully capable. I love the carbon fiber. I love the M Sport stitching all over the place. BMW does such a great job with their steering wheels. It's unbelievable. The quality, the fit, the finish, the feel, the whole 9 yards. All right, guys, let's see how she drives on throttle. On the brakes, those massive calipers. Goldfinger is slowing me down. Here we go. Right hand bend on throttle. Wow! This thing is a rocket ship. So smooth. That's the crazy thing. Are you waiting for boost? No. The smaller turbos spool right up, get that V8 humming and singing. Remember, not only do you have more power than a 8 coupe, you also have lower weight, bigger rotors. We got those carbon ceramic rotors. That's gonna make sure that you're gonna get ultimate stopping capability every time you hit that brake pedal. Wow, this thing is something else. It really, really is. It's crazy, the technology and the performance of what they're bringing. And to be able to do 0 to 60 in 2.8 seconds in a car that weighs 4,300 pounds, that to me, somebody deserves a trophy in Munich for sure. On throttle, here we go. Full throttle down, all-wheel drive, keeping us planted, holds the line so nicely. Good brake pedal feel. Downshifts are so crisp and smooth. Wow. Are you ready for a zonk? I know everybody's like, Joe, is this thing perfect? Should I get the C8 Corvette over this? There's no gear indicator in the head-up display. Your gear indicator is very minute in the lower right-hand corner. That to me, in an M8 motorsport car, I need a better way to quickly glance and see what gear I'm in. Other than that, there's not a lot that I'm gonna be changing in this besides the overall proportions. For me, the car's just a little too large. That's just what it comes down to, and that's what would steer me even more to go get a 911 GT3. GT3 RS would work too, but obviously we're trying to keep it apples to apples when we're talking about price. But visibility and the ease of driving this thing is ridiculous. And then when you want to lay it down, it goes. You get a nice pop out the back. Just unbelievable. And then the brakes just slow you right back down because you're going to need them. I'm telling you right now, the carbon ceramic brakes you need to shave speed, because you look down the speedometer, it's like easily triple digits. Like you didn't even do anything. But anyways, I'm gonna need to take a few breaths, getting something to drink, maybe a snack. We're gonna head back to Furman BMW, so I'll see you in a BMW 8-minute. All right, guys, been another wonderful day here at Furman BMW. I definitely got to thank Alan and the rest of the crew getting us access not only to an M8, but an M8 Competition. Is it a challenger for the 911? 100% guaranteed, and it's nice to have a little bit of variety. My thing would be add a manual transmission to it, and I think that would just add to the overall driver engagement of the M8. But if it's vehicles like these that you want to see on Radies Rise, leave a comment in the comment section. If you're new and you're on your way out, hit the subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile coming back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Radies Rise family. If you want to help us keep making great content just for you on the channel, click the link in the description, get yourself some Radies Rise merch. Got to give it up to Big Guns McGee, Tom Moschner, working the camera for us today, doing a great job. So thank you, Tom, for all your hard work. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.